the beginning of the shiur. Chanukah is already in the middle of the way. We see that Baruch Hashem, Kadosh Baruch Hu is preparing us for many more miracles, because I think there was another few anti-Semitic attacks today, yesterday, and one of the, I didn't read the article, but one of the headlines was, "They just won't stop. The anti-Semitism just won't stop." A couple of days ago, they killed a rabbi, and I think it was in Chicago. Today, they beat up a few Jews in New York. Rabotai, it looks like we are in Germany. 1938, 1937, 1936. We're in Germany. Again, this is how it started. Now, does that mean that we should all run away? Not necessarily. And the reason why I say not necessarily is because the situation is not that much different anywhere else in the world, wherever you go. If you go to Europe, there's just as many attacks there sometimes. Sometimes they're even worse. Sometimes they're even funded by the government in some way or another. If you go to Eretz Yisrael, right now they're having an election where if one side wins, then the first thing that he wants to do, this Rasha Merusha Lieberman, the first thing that he wants to do is a minimum cut the funding for the yeshivot and the Batei Midrashot by 50%. Minimum, right away. That's what's on his mind. There are Arabs that are shooting missiles at us day and night. He's not worried about that. There are all types of fraudulent businesses taking the country by storm over the last few years. He's not worried about that either. There are government officials that literally are stealing money from the government. He's not worried about that either. There are all types of socioeconomic issues, all types of major movements that are BDS and the likes. He's not worried about that. What is he worried about? These avrechim that learn Torah all day. First thing he wants to do, cut funding for yeshivot 50%. Which means, Rabotai, that just like the Zohar HaKadosh said, before Mashiach comes, there's going to be a war, there's going to be a lot of problems, but there's going to be a mitzvah that we're going to eventually have to fulfill, which is limchot et Amalek, to destroy Amalek. Now, for as long as I can remember, I always thought that Amalek was a Nazi. I always thought that Amalek was an Arab, was some anti-Semitic Christian or Catholic or Muslim or Chinese. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that Amalek is a Jew. But that's what it is. And that's what the Zohar says. The fulfillment of the promise that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made to Moshe Rabbeinu, which is that before HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings the complete salvation of the world, we're going to have to deal with Amalek. We always thought we're going to have to deal with Nazi Germany again, or someone else. The fulfillment of that mitzvah, Rabotai Yekarim, the Zohar HaKadosh says, is going to be Jewish people. Amalek, unfortunately, has a lot of Jewish people in it. There's going to be some Goyim also, obviously. But there's going to be some Jews in charge. And that's why the Zohar HaKadosh says that the fulfillment of the mitzvah of destroying Amalek will actually be fulfilled with Jewish people. Now, if this is not scary, I don't know what is. But in theory, it was scary enough. When you're seeing it in reality, you're seeing people like Lapid Yimach Shemo V'Zichro, or the Lieberman Yimach Shemo, or all of these people that were born Jewish, meaning their mother is Jewish, I believe the father also, but they hate the Torah. they hate the Torah so much. It's very hard. It's very hard to believe that we have that much time. Now, I don't mean that much time as far as before the end. I mean that much time that we continue having this convenient life, Baruch Hashem, that we have, where you could pretty much wake up, go to a few shuls, whichever one you want, pick your choice. You go to a supermarket, you get all types of food, kosher food. In this generation, if you're not eating kosher, it's only because you hate HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why? It's so easy to eat kosher. It's so easy to eat kosher. You could literally find kosher in every supermarket in the world. If you want to eat kosher, you can find kosher even in China. You can find kosher. Which means if you're not eating kosher, it's just because you care less about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Care less. That's a problem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu made this generation, although it's very, very confused and very ignorant, He also made this generation have the most amount of convenience in history. You want to get Torah, you can get it online for free. You want to get a book, it's only a click away. Food, anywhere you go around the world, you can find kosher food. Bet Knesset, Baruch Hashem, we have more Bet Knessets than I think we have people. Each block has 5 Bet Knesset, but no one has minyan. I was looking for a house a year and a half ago, and the guy, the realtor that was showing me the neighborhood, said, "Oh yeah, they're building another big Chabad center here." He said, "It's probably going to be a $30-40 million development." And I said, "Where?" He goes, "Right there in the corner." I said, "Wait a minute, but isn't that one across the street also a Chabad $30 million establishment?" He goes, "No, that's 50. I said, "How many people live in this community?" He goes, "No, it's empty. There's almost nobody there." So why are they building more? Why are they building more? Who knows? I have no idea. Strangest thing in the world. I guess you have to park the money somehow. It's absurd. But that's what's happening, Abutai. That's what's happening in a confused generation. We have B'tei Knesset, we have Chabad centers, we have all types of establishments, but Torah, real Torah, we're having a hard time. We're having a hard time. Now, on the good side, I always tell people what my Rav tells me all the time, anytime I get frustrated, is that the only way to beat the Tum'ah, the only way to destroy the Tum'ah that's in this world, the only way to overcome the impurity of this world, the impurity from Christianity, the impurity from people serving idols, the impurity from people going against Hashem, the only way is not going to be with a gun. So don't bother buying one. You want to buy one, go ahead. I think it's going to give you more problems than it's going to give you solutions. If you think that a gun is going to save your life, you have a lot of serious problems. If you actually think that a gun is going to save your life, you have emunah problems. You could buy one if you want. It's not like I'm not allowed. You're allowed. But if that's what you think is going to save your life, you have to go all the way back to shiur number 1. Why? Gog and Magog arrives, no gun in the world is going to help you. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu decided that someone has to die, nothing's going to help him. Gun, no gun. What do you think? That the people that survived the recent attack survived because of guns? No one survives because of a gun. People survive because HaKadosh Baruch Hu decided they're going to survive. You have to give them a reason to let you survive. The gun is definitely not a reason. You want to go buy one, buy one. Baruch, enjoy. Buy 2. Buy a whole army. It's not going to help you though. What's going to help you is tshuva. One of these Russian communists came to the Tzemach Tzedek Lubavitch. He didn't like that he was teaching Torah. So he put a gun to his head. And he said, "Listen, Rabbi, you have to stop these Torah of yours. You have to stop it or I'm going to kill you." So the tzaddik looks at him with a smile. And the Russian gets really even more upset. He said, "Why are you smiling, old man?" He said, you see this gun you have? That only scares people that have one world and two gods. I have one God, two worlds. Your gun doesn't scare me. One God runs the world and two worlds. For me to go from this world to Olam Haba, it's like you're just opening a door, you change a room. You left this room, you go to the bedroom, finish. What's the big deal? You only scare people that have two gods, their ego and the real God that they don't even appreciate. And they think, why are they not scared of God? Because they think this is the only life anyway. There's no Olam Haba. So that's the type of people you scare. So for all of those people that are fascinated with guns and they think that you training, taking martial arts, all of a sudden every Jew wants to be a capoeira artist or something. Everybody's Brazilian suddenly. Everybody wants to be a ninja. You're going to start seeing people with like Zorro, with mask all the time. You think that's going to help you? Hashem Yilachem, we're in bigger trouble than we thought. When you see religious Jewish people worrying more about learning martial arts and buying guns than doing tshuva, you realize how much trouble we're in. But nonetheless, Rabotai, we do have a situation. We have a situation on our hands because right now it's become a trend to be anti-Semitic openly. Every Jewish community has its own share of problems, some more, some less. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is preparing us for a time that we are going to have to rely on a miracle every day. Now, we're relying on miracles every day anyway, but we don't really feel it. The fact that we wake up anyway every day is a miracle, but we don't really feel it's a miracle. We feel it's supposed to happen. The fact that the check clears when the customer sent it, it's a miracle. But we don't feel it's a miracle. We feel it's natural. It's supposed to happen. What do you mean? He sent the check. Why wouldn't it clear? The fact that when you turn on the electricity, it actually works is a miracle. But we don't think it's a miracle. No, it's nature. It's physics. You go on a plane, the plane actually flies, and this big boat doesn't just decide to collapse in the middle of the air because there's really nothing holding it up. No, what are you talking about? It's physics, and if you look, the propeller is going a certain amount of... Okay, you could do all the calculations you want in the world. It's a miracle. The fact that you can go on a boat, no matter how big it is, it could be the size of something that's literally not much bigger than this table over here, or it could be the size of 3 Titanics, one of these aircraft carriers, and it floats. It's a miracle. No, it's distillation. Oh, distillation, your head. Your head's in a distillation. Your brain is distilled. It's all a miracle. But we don't feel it. We don't think it is. Because we got used to it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is bringing us to a time where we are going to have to rely on miracles we haven't seen before. Meaning that we're all going to have to get to a point where we admit this is an open miracle, this is an open miracle, this is an open miracle, everything is a miracle. The fact that we survive a day is a miracle. Now, I know not everyone sees this as clear as day, and most people are not going to see it as clear as day until it actually happens. But it's happening. Anyone that knows a little bit about history can see the movie being repeated again. It's literally identical. Now, like I said, the missiles, the guns, the knives, the capoeira, the ninjas, the cowboys, the Indians, all that stuff's not going to help us. Only thing that's going to help us is doing tshuva.